Hello and welcome back to my channel, Mental Health with Melissa. Welcome to part 2 of this video on community social work services. If you have not yet watched part 1, then you're definitely going to want to watch part 1 of this video because it gives an overview of exactly what community social worker is, or what community social work is, and what community social workers do and why it's important, and kind of like as it relates to the social work profession and LCSW test prep. So before we get started, if you're new here, I'm Melissa. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more content. And in doing so, that really helps me get this information out to those that may be interested in becoming a social worker. Tons of free LCSW test prep and mental health information to our communities of color. And if you are interested in a social work study program, in the past I have gotten comments and DMs asking me if I do private tutoring, and I would love to, but because of just the lack of time right now, I'm not able to. So this really led me to develop this very dynamic and specifically focused study program called Social Work Study LCSW Test Prep with Melissa. And I'm going to leave the link in the description box below so you can check it out. It's available for purchase. It includes a study guide, it includes a mock exam with rationale, tons of private videos, and some flashcards. So you're going to want to take a look at that. When I reach 1,000 subscribers, I have a giveaway where I'm going to be giving it away free to one winner, and then I'm going to be giving it away at a very discounted rate to 9 other winners. So feel free to check that out. Let's go ahead and get into the content of this video. Okay, so if you haven't already, again, make sure that you take a look at the first part of this video, but if you do want to just pause here and read through what community social work is, then take the time to do that now before we actually get into the test prep question, because I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Pause. I want you to read this question first, answer it, and then compare it to what my answer is so you can kind of test out where your test taking skills are at this point in terms of community social work. So a social worker who does outreach services in their community is likely focusing on option A, long-term therapy services. So as we talked about in the last video, community social work is more of a macro social work sort of position. So because of that, it's not so clinically based. And therapy services are clinical micro services. So for that reason, this is not going to be an appropriate answer. Option B, research strategies. So although community social work, again, is macro, research strategies are more along the lines of maybe a different component of macro social work. Doing actual community social work may focus on something a little bit different. And we talked about that in our last video, but let's explore the other options. Option C, clinical supervision and resource development. So clinical supervision may be more of a micro level sort of social work provision, or meso social work, because one can do one-on-one clinical supervision or can do group supervision, so that may be more meso. Resource development can be macro, but we're talking specifically about community social work or outreach services. So this is not going to be the answer for that reason. Option D, assessing for needs and advocacy. So this sounds exactly like what outreach services entail, because when you're providing outreach to a community, you are assessing for the needs and you're advocating for providing those needs to that particular community. So option D is going to be the answer. How did you do on this LCSW test prep vignette? Leave in the comment section below, because I'm really interested to know who got it right, or if it was a more challenging question, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you did watch this video first, before you watched the actual informational video on community social work, please don't forget to take a look at that video. Until next time, managing mental health matters.